Greetings and welcome to Storytime with Angel. Today we are reading, I don't know, I guess it's part of the introduction still of our book, Shamanic Leadership, that is actually launching in a couple of days, November
Yay!
11th. Today is the 9th. How many more sleeps, Christina?
Was that a question?
Maybe. The 9th, the 10th. Anyways, I'm a little excited and a little distracted. So it is what it is. So what I'm reading now is comes after the ascension symptoms. So we read those a couple of weeks ago, and then Christina read something from the back, and now we are continuing forward after the ascension symptoms guide. And it starts with a poem. Stardust falls from the sky. I'm sitting on the moon. I hear the call from humanity. I know I must go soon. Growling as my paws land on earthen floor. Fur and claws, fangs and blood, Gaia welcomes me to the hood. Where are you? I see you up in blue. Howling the lonely call of the wolf, my soul calls out to you. Stillness, darkness, must find my vision, severing throats of those on a dark mission. Why am I here? What does my soul crave this time? A new furry soul basket lets out a small whine. As I look into the stars and ask for a sign, remember who you are, little one. This next trip to Earth, I promise, will be divine. Nestling in my den, among my brethren, protected and held as I heal deep within. The sacred feminine, this is my medicine, the medicine of the wolf, by Willow White Wolf. Dreaming with Willow White Wolf. I vividly remember taking my beautiful white husky for a walk daily as a child. Children will categorize things they learn into structures they have already been domesticated with, and in my tiny little world, this imaginary pet that I had was indeed a dog. Most humans I've conversed with in this world had imaginary human friends. Mine showed up in fur form, and my earliest remembrance was of this huge, beautiful white dog. Walking down the sidewalk with my hand resting on its powerful shoulder blades of this magnificent creature, for me, was as real as the sun shining on my face. It was not until I was in my teens that I saw a picture of a white wolf and made the connection that my dog was not a husky, it was a wolf. This realization opened magical portals of possibilities. I chose to go down. How did I know what a wolf looked like as a small child without ever seeing one? This question had me seeking answers that the humans surrounding me did not have. When you ask the universe to show you signs, they show up in ways you do not see coming. And in 2013, a human showed up in my world with deep wolf medicine to share. I was facilitating at a private drug and alcohol rehab center nestled in the Kootenay Mountains, where part of the medicine was a weekly sweat lodge on Indigenous reserve with its elders. This man had an experience where he could not breathe through the intense heat and was about to ask to leave the lodge when a wolf curled up into his chest, breathed cool air into his mouth as she laid with him. Upon telling this experience to me, he shared that he'd been raising two wolf cubs from 8 weeks old, and they were a year old now. The little female, Willow, came to him in the sweat lodge. A month later, he took me to another province where the wolves were being cared for, only to discover that they were both shot and killed for their pelts during that brief time he was away in recovery by the Indigenous on the reserve next to them. The ruthless realization hit like an atomic bomb. Willow was already dead when she came to visit him in the sweat lodge. River, on the other hand, ran after he witnessed his sister being killed. He covered hundreds of kilometers before being shot in a farmer's field, ending his journey on Earth this round as well. With my attunement to wolf medicine and his experience with these baby wolves' short lives, we chose to take on their names in honor of their impactful journey in our lives, and Willow White Wolf was born within. Wolves mate for life. After half a dozen years, when one partner chooses a different life and kills the storyline, how does the other move on? How does the whole pack move on without the alpha male? Oh, wait. Are alpha and male the only two words that go together? What about alpha female? What does alpha mean? What is the opposite, and where do I fit into the mix as a human with a female soul basket? These questions had me digging into the depths of my soul for this last decade. Who am I, and how do I want to show up in this world at this unprecedented time on Earth? We are experiencing a quantum shift on the planet where some of the patriarchal ways are being dismantled as Mama Gaia says no to some of the behaviors happening here on Earth. We are all being asked to look internally and challenge the agreements we have been domesticated with and make better, more informed choices moving forward. But how? We know things need to change both internally and externally. The question is where to start. In my Toltec shamanic apprenticeship, we spent years unraveling the concepts of power over versus power within and the subtleties of control and manipulation within relationships. This has been great medicine as the world experiences the shift of us humans leaning more into the divine feminine aspects of who we are and what that looks like. As I experimented with these energies, it became clear I was born with a generous capacity to feel and see subtle energies. However, those abilities were suppressed by my environment and lack of knowledge as a child. The divine masculine within me prevailed, and I made my way through life at the warrior's heart, choosing leadership as my form of communication and community. As I delved deeper into the underworld, the shadow aspect of myself and my ancestral lineage, I surrendered to the goddess within, forgiving myself for all the mistakes I had made along this journey, forgiving those who had harmed me, and vowed to listen more deeply to my soul, knowing there was more medicine within. 3 years ago, I committed to the Ruiz family an intense apprenticeship and gave them permission to train Willow. This feral aspect inside me was full of fire, which I had no control over, and she needed puppy training. She had been hurt, abused, abandoned, and almost killed. She needed help, and to heal her, I had to ask my warrior to put her sword down, surrender, forget all I had known, and allow these healers to assess and give me the experiences I needed to awaken the goddess within. 3 men. What a concept. How did these men teach me the goddess way? Energetic agility is the secret sauce to keep authenticity alive in modernized gender roles. Agility means you are skilled in both alpha and omega and can pivot between the two embodiments at will, choosing whichever best serves the moment. Rather than seeing these aspects as something fixed, you see them as a dance that occurs from moment to moment, each partner feeling into the situation and deciding which aspect to offer based on what would best serve the moment. To train yourself to move between alpha and omega takes practice, no doubt, and in my experience, I needed healers who could out alpha me so I could lean in, strengthen my goddess spiritual muscles, knowing I was safe and held. It takes advanced awareness to know which aspect you are occupying and what is needed within the relationship in question. This is where true, authentic leadership is born. You can only teach to the level of what you embody on both sides. It takes practice to master the capacity to switch aspects on the fly. My wish for humanity is to understand this sacred dance of the divine feminine and masculine aspects within. Ignite the passion for oneness by diving into your own heart to discover you truly are the love of your life. You can create your own safety, be your own warrior, as well as nurture the creative oracle that births magic into this world. We are both, we house both and all things. Our energy connects to all things on this planet because we are all one. As you start to embody these energies and heighten your awareness, humans who can match and dance this agile dance with you will start to show up in your world to play with. That, my loves, is why we are all here. Let us dive into the mystery together and allow our puppies to play. And that is the end of the introduction.
Yay.
Yay.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Willow story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It makes me think of authenticity and how we define it.
Right. Yeah. It's not a made up story. It's my lived experience.
Yeah. It just made me think about, you talking about how do I want to show up in this world and what's authentic to me. And it made me think of the challenges that we face with the people in our lives who, as we step into what we believe is our authenticity, that we then have people, sometimes family members, who step up against us and say, no, 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 that's not who you are, as if they know better.
Yeah, get back in your box. Play the role I expect you to play for me.
Right. Right.
Not acknowledging
Hmm.
the powerful healer that's standing in front of them that they give,
Right.
that they just minimize and stuff
Yeah.
back into the box.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is a challenge and a struggle for so many people.
Yeah. Well, and that's what this medicine is. It's showing people that you can stand up, that you can step into your authenticity and own your stories. This is my lived experience.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to have somebody gaslight me and tell me that it didn't happen because it did.
Yeah.
And half of this story is not even mine. I witnessed half of it. But having him come out of the sweat lodge and shook, like this was a true full experience, and then to find out that they were killed
Yeah.
on indigenous land by people that we're told to honor and revere and say thank you for allowing us on your land, and they're killing the animals.
Yeah.
You know, harm goes both ways. And so the good thing about this story and how it did end up is that the pelts were given back to the owner, and there was repair properly done by the elder of that community. But that doesn't change the
It doesn't.
story.
No. It still happened. Damage still happened. There were casualties, and not just the wolf.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think with the title of this book even being what it is, it's not about that bad things happen. We're human, we're going to make mistakes.
Hmm.
It's how are you repairing? How are you owning your part of the story? How are you showing up in that radical responsibility? As there's been some coined phrases of radical responsibility and teachings out there, but then not following their own teachings about the radical responsibility.
Hmm. But again, it comes back to being human.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're here to learn. And some of us take longer to learn in certain things than others. And that's okay. Everybody has a tree with lots of branches, and some branches are glorious and beautiful and growing long, and some are here, and some are dead, and some need to be cut off. Pruning is a thing. And I feel like where we are right now in this, like if I drop right into this energy that we're in right now, it 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 literally is about trying to bring your tree into balance. So if
Mhm.
it's not in balance, what branch needs some attention? And the dead ones need to just be cut off. Pruning time is real right now. And you think about what the arborists and the people that are taking care of the lands, in the gardening community, this is the time that you prune all the trees down, get ready for winter. It's time to let go. The leaves show us how nature lets go. You just drop it and just let it be disintegrated by the earth and allow that circle of life to continue. And that's what we're living right now. We are in the season of fall.
Yes. Things are falling away.
Yes, they are. Karmic loops are being completed, period. Yeah, yeah. And in 2 days, this book is live. It's so exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great day.
It is. So, people, stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next week for chapter 1.
Bye.